All right, happy Saturday, guys. Let me get situated here. Cheers, by the way. I appreciate you all for tuning in on this Saturday as we're about to break down Palantir and go over what is going on in the Middle East very quickly as things are escalating, well, pretty fast right now. So, guys, hit the like button, make sure to subscribe, join my Patreon if you want to keep up with my actual portfolio updates, and be a part of my private Discord. That's linked down below, also pinned in the comments, or go to stasurfs.com/Patreon. You know where to find it. And with that being said, cheers again. Take a sip of your coffee or whatever you guys have on this beautiful Saturday afternoon or morning, depending on where you're watching this video, or night. So, yeah, let's dive into it. So Palantir right now, and actually wait, before we dive into Palantir, the charts, where I see it going in the short term, let's go over the breaking news, which, guys, we were anticipating this over the last couple of days, and now things are escalating. And by no means am I a geopolitical expert here. I don't know a ton about, relations between the U.S., Iran, the Middle East, Israel, right? I know a little bit. I know a decent amount, right? But I'm not this super well-versed guy. Go watch other content or other channels for that. I'm not going to claim like I know everything or know a good amount even, or a great amount, right? But either way, things are escalating right now, man, and this is going to have potentially an impact on the global financial markets in the short term, right? Do I think this is going to cause a crash, the next recession, the next, global financial crisis? Absolutely not. But could it cause uncertainty, some turmoil, some volatility in the short term, maybe this upcoming week? It sure can. So the United States launched major combat operations in Iran, joined by Israel. President Donald Trump announced in a video message today, which you guys probably saw, what he posted, or that video. I just actually watched it right before making this video. I advise you guys go watch that. But essentially, man, things are escalating, right? Things are escalating. Iran's leaders are being targeted. Israel targeted Iranian political and military leaders, two U.S. officials told NBC News, while the U.S. aimed to take out Iran's ballistic missile and nuclear programs, right? And Trump urges regime change. Trump urged Iranians to take over your government when the strikes are over. The hour of your freedom is at hand, right? And then we can see Iran's retaliation. Iran responded by firing missiles at Israel as well as at the United States bases across the region in the United Arab Emirates, right? Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain, and Jordan, sending ripples across the Middle East. So Iran is going crazy. They're here, there, boom, boom. United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Kuwait, Jordan, right? And Tehran is willing to talk. In an exclusive interview with NBC News, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi, yeah, I know I'm butchering it, guys, said Iran was interested in de-escalation and willing to talk if the United States and Israel halted attacks. He told President Trump that regime change was mission impossible, which, I mean, it could be, right? Who knows? Again, I'm not this geopolitical expert. Is it mission impossible? It kind of seems like it might be, considering how things have been going over in Iran over the last, 10, 15, 20, 30 years, right? Iran was, from my understanding, a beautiful place to live, right? Wasn't it in the 60s, 70s? I might be getting the time wrong. Wasn't it, phenomenal place where people would go vacation? It was beautiful. And, it has gone down. I mean, that's the reality. And, yeah, I mean, are they willing to give up the regime? Are they willing to see change there? It doesn't seem like it. It doesn't seem like it, right? And their nuclear talks. The U.S. built up a massive military presence in the Middle East while holding talks with the Islamic Republic over a new deal to curtail its nuclear program. Aragchi, which again I'm butchering that, told NBC News that the two sides were close to a deal, decrying the joint strikes and talks were ongoing. Yeah, I doubt they're close to a deal. You can't really believe much of anything that anybody from really any party says during active war, during active, this stuff's just now popping off, right? These fresh strikes, this is going on now, guys. It's happening, right? So that's a quick little rundown of this breaking news that's really fresh off the press at this point. And we all knew this would happen after the Olympics, right? The Winter Olympics in Milan. We all kind of had an idea of this happening, which you could argue that's a reason why maybe the market might not crash. In fact, I don't think it's going to crash. Like I said before, I said that in the intro. I don't think we're going to get a crazy drop from this because the market's been anticipating this. It's not like a black swan event that came out of nowhere. Oh, the U.S. and Israel just destroyed the entire, country or something out of nowhere. It's not that didn't happen. We were all anticipating this over the last couple weeks, months. It's not anything out of the blue, which again is why you could argue the market is not going to crash much, which I think that it's not going to crash at all, really. Maybe it goes down a little bit, but that's not a crash. I think we might see volatility. Like I said, the S&P, for example, could be going crazy, whipsawing from, let's say, SPY goes from 685 to 690, back to 680, down to 675, maybe back to 690. That's the type of price action that we could see here in the short term. But do we get a cataclysmic collapse? Not necessarily. Unless things get a lot worse, right? Unless things get worse than the market is currently anticipating, then sure, okay, stock's going to go lower at that point. But as of now, the way things stand, the market anticipated this, and I don't think we're going to get a crazy drop. But again, some choppiness, some volatility is definitely expected. And Palantir now is going to be interesting heading into this week as, their software, as their product is used in times like these, right? So Palantir stock is going to be one that I'm eyeing up here. You guys know I'm long. I sold a good chunk though at the end of last year at $181 a share, and we haven't covered really Palantir stock much at all over the last week or two. And here we go. Let's cover what's going on. It's clearly consolidating on the charts, right? Palantir stock has been flat now at about 125, 130, 135 for the entirety of February here, which today's the last day of February. Hope you guys had a great month. It's the 28th. Remember, it's a short month, guys. I know some of you forgot about that, but Palantir has been consolidating again the entire month, and now we're starting to see the last 2-3 days of trading. It's starting to break through the moving averages. We have a golden cross here on the 1 hour chart. We're not fully breaking through. Don't get too excited yet, but we're seeing signs of us going up towards 135, 140, which is a multi-week resistance on Palantir, right? If Palantir could break through 140, man, this could see a run, especially with what's going on over in the Middle East. But then again, software stocks have been demolished, so there's a lot pulling Palantir right now. You got the software narrative, AI is taking over, but then again, Palantir uses AI. It's interesting stuff, right? Interesting times. But you have that narrative, and now you have the defense side, right? The software used in war, this, that, blah, blah, blah. You have that angle, which could bring the stock up. So you have it being pulled from both sides here, and ultimately, who's going to win? Who's going to win? I feel like the bulls could win here in the short term. I think Palantir could be ready for a run, quite frankly, in this environment. I think the sell-off in software has been exhausted. Not saying every software stock's going to go to the moon right now, right? That's not going to happen. But could we get some relief rallies in some of these names? Absolutely. And we're already seeing it, in CRM. CRM had a nice rally off the lows, a bunch of these, right? I think Palantir could be one of those as well here, especially if we get a push through 140. And I have my alert at 146. I'm going to lower that actually. I'm going to put that at 140 for now, and we'll see where it goes. If it's able to break through from there, I think we could see the 150s again in the short term. And look, the reality is, man, the chart on Palantir still looks good. On the 1 year, it looks solid. It looks like we're consolidating, getting ready for another move. And on the 3 year, we're consolidating as well at a higher low, gearing up for potentially another big move here. So I like the stock here. I'm not rushing to buy a bunch more. Again, I'm in it already. I locked in a good amount of profits at the end of last year at 180. So for me, I'm just holding on to my, remaining shares, and I'm just letting it ride. I think we could do well here with the narrative going on in the Middle East. But then again, the software narrative, if that deteriorates more, it could have a drag on Palantir even further. So we're going to watch it. We're going to watch it. Alert set at 140. I'm excited about it. And get ready, man. Buckle up. Things might get rocky in these markets the next couple of days. And we're going to cover, the developments in the Middle East. Again, I'm not this, expert by any means, but we will cover the news. We will break down how it affects the financial markets. That is something I do know a lot about, so we will do that here. So make sure to subscribe, hit the follow button, join the Patreon if you want to keep up with my actual portfolio updates, if you want to be a part of my private Discord. All that is linked right down below, also pinned in the comments, or go to stasurfest.com/Patreon. I'll see you guys in there. And with that being said, cheers. Have a great rest of your weekend. I'll see you later.